Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked? Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USA Prepares. We broadcast 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. through 11 a.m. Central Time. And if you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. And there's a telephone listen line. It's up 24/7, 605-477-3249. Jason is engineering the broadcast at Genesis Communications Network. I'm Vincent Finelli. Guineith Isaacs is with us. Welcome, Guineith.
Hello, Vincent. How are you this morning?
Doing really well. And I just want to mention to our class and to our instructors, if you've been trying to contact me lately, it's been extremely, extremely difficult. And I'll tell you why. Our phone has been ringing off the hook at the farmhouse. No one's able to get very much done because the phone keeps ringing. And here's why. I let our class know that there are some changes to the network, and we are being asked to pay $500 a month. I absolutely am unable to do that, to be on the air. And people have been calling the farmhouse with recommendations, suggestions. They don't want us to go off the air. It's as simple as that. Except for one or two people, trolls, those people would love us to go off the air. But other than that, everyone else everyone who's called wants us to stay on the air. But I am not able to pay $500 a month. I wish I could. I wish I could pay $500 a week. I wish things were so good that we could do that, but I personally am unable. And so people have been calling the farmhouse, and yesterday we got a lot of calls on the air about what we should do in order to stay on the air. And a number of our instructors called and said they would pitch in and help. And I think that's wonderful. However, I would absolutely prefer not to do that. It's something that, I've asked all of our instructors to volunteer, to be part of our faculty, to share the information and experiences that they have with our class. I don't pay them. They don't pay me. It's something that I just think we should do. And all have agreed. Everyone has agreed. And everyone has also, every faculty member, everyone, regardless of religious persuasion or previous belief or current belief, everyone has said that he or she feels some or has felt some out-of-body presence that said, you should do this. And I'm very serious about that. And I've asked everyone, have you been guided, nudged, gotten a feeling, a tingling that you should do this? And everyone in his or her own way has said yes, including me. And that's who we are. We're just a bunch of volunteers. There are no contracts with anybody. I have no contracts with any network, none. And I've been asked to have to sign contracts, to guarantee our time on the air. And I've said no. I appreciate it, but thank you anyway. I think we earn our stripes every day. If we do a good job, you'll want to keep us on the air. If we do a lousy job, we deserve to be thrown off. And that's how I feel about it. I feel that way about teachers. When I was a teacher, I did not want tenure. I would not accept tenure. Yeah. Employment guaranteed for life, really? And for the same reasons that I just delineated. So that is the situation. And then, so many people have called and said they'd like to help. And I've been flattered and humbled as just, as a part of USA Prepares. I'm just humbled. And yesterday I was not at the farm, and we received a phone call. And the phone call was a husband and wife. What would you say? A husband and wife team. They work together. Senior citizens said that they would cover the entire cost.
Oh,
and
bless God.
Yeah, but there's a comma there.
You know something, Vincent? I was hanging my laundry out this afternoon, and I was almost crying because I had my cell phone's got this thing where it can play podcasts, so I download the podcast off the phone, turn the Wi-Fi off, and then go out and have the phone in my pocket, without any signal, just the podcast playing. And I was hanging out my laundry, and I heard you saying this, and I was just about crying as I was hanging out the laundry. And I said, Father God, in Jesus' name, please enable some way for Vincent to be able to stay on the air. And I believe that what you just said is an answer to my prayer.
It is an answer, but there's a comma and a but following that. And the answer is, from my perspective, as much as I appreciate that, I cannot do it. I cannot let one person struggle and pay the entire bill for all of us. I cannot do it. Now, if it were Bill Gates, and it would be, an immeasurable part of his wealth, that's different. But for someone who is struggling the way we do, to pick it up for everybody else, I cannot allow that to happen. And I know this couple does not want me to use their name, so I won't. But I've got to tell you, they are the kindest, most generous, gentle, caring couple there is. Seriously. And I want to thank them, and I won't mention their name because they would prefer I didn't. But that's what they did. They stepped up to the plate. Now, I really, really do not want to be on the air begging for dollars. I don't want to do that. And so I'm just opening my heart to tell you that I am at this dilemma. I just don't want to tell people, hey, keep us on the air, keep us on the air, keep us on the air, every week, every day, every month, like National Public Radio does here in the United States. They have to get money. And I understand, I really do understand that it costs the network money for us to be on the air. I understand that. And I'm not faulting them in any way, shape, or form, because Genesis Communications Network has been so kind to us beyond belief. They have opened up the channel for USA Prepares and let us say any and everything we want without censorship, without guidance of any way. And when I say without guidance, I'm talking about like government guidance, where they guide you at the muzzle of a gun. That's never happened. Ted Anderson is the CEO of Genesis Communications Network. The only thing he's ever said to me was, hey, we don't ever get complaints about you. He's always been positive. He's never said, oh, by the way, it sure would be nice if you didn't talk about A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and so forth. Or it sure would be nice if you did talk about, these items. It's never happened. And also, the same goes for John Statmiller, the CEO of Republic Broadcasting. And he picks up this broadcast, tape delayed, every day. So what I'm saying today will be heard on Republic Broadcasting tomorrow. And we are tape delayed across the country on what's known as affiliates. And an affiliate is a radio station that carries our broadcast. Okay? So we're tape delayed on those as well. So this could be a domino effect. It could take us down completely. It may not. I don't know. And I don't want our class to think that I'm crying wolf. I've decided that I would share this with our broadcast classroom because I think that it would be wrong for us just to disappear and have everybody wonder what the heck happened. Did they just quit on us? It's not the case. Nobody's quitting. Nobody is quitting. Let's see. Ted in Washington, welcome. You're on with Guineith Isaacs and me. Ted, are you there? I've clicked the call screen, but I don't hear Ted. Ted, I have a feeling that your input line is not. Are you there, Ted?
Yes,
okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. You're potted up now. Great.
Perfect.
Welcome.
There you are. Hello, thank you. Good morning, Vinny. Hello, Guineith.
Hello.
Good morning.
I wanted to share an idea with you about helping to carry on the show, but I wanted to ask you, before I disclose this idea, is there a current solution? Have you come to any resolve yet?
No. There are. There's this one family, this couple, husband and wife, senior citizens, who have offered to pick us up and cover it, but I cannot let that happen.
Yes, I caught the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday I was listening to the show after hours, and I got really saddened but then excited because the idea that I have, I can't take credit for it, nor will I, but it's a very successful idea. It's been working incredibly well. The small catch would be that you would not be live, but you would be still daily. You would have unlimited talk time, unlimited commercials, if you choose so. And the idea is from another gentleman that used to have daily recordings, daily podcasts from his car. He would record himself on a 2-hour show from his car on his way to work.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he started out, and it's become so successful. He no longer works. He now works from home and has his own show.
All right. Hold that thought. Class, Guineith Isaacs is live with us in Australia. Ted is in Washington. Brandon is on hold. He's up next in Michigan. Ted, are you saying something like Richie from Boston? Is that who you're talking about?
No, I will tell you in a bit. I'm not familiar with him, but I feel like we left off on a cliffhanger just before the commercial break. But basically what this would be, it would be a strategy for you to be self-sustained, completely on your own, no need for any donations, and the benefits would far outweigh the cons. You would not be live daily, but you would have a daily pre-recorded show. And this gentleman who's doing it, I've been following him since just around show 1000, and that was well after he was doing the shows in his car. And now he's, fast forward all these years, he's thriving. He's at show 2400, and he's very similar of your mindset. He's an instructor. He's a farmer. Any topic, callers call in on a dedicated number. They leave voicemails and ask questions. They can email him. He has an expert council, just like your faculty staff. It's very exciting because he doesn't have to be on any network. People can download the MP3 podcast at their leisure, and you can record your show at your leisure any time of day. So
I'll tell you what, would you, Ted, would you do this for me, please?
Yes.
Would you send me an email, once again, with your telephone contact number, and I'll give you a call probably in an evening, if that is okay. Probably won't be tonight, but in a couple days. I'm just overwhelmed here at the farm. Would that be okay with you, Ted?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I think you're going to be very excited to find out what's in store, because this could be when one door closes, another window opens, something like that, an opportunity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm
I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's, no donations needed. Yeah, absolutely.
Great. And I guess you understand my position on the donations, right?
I do thoroughly, and that's very commendable. It's very rare nowadays. Everybody would always reach out for a handout, but you're one of the few. So thank you, sir.
Ted, thank you so much for being with us. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I'll follow up in an email right now.
Wonderful. That was Ted. Brandon in Michigan, welcome. You're on with Guineith Isaacs and me.
Hello, Vincent.
Hey.
Can you hear me all right?
5x5. You're live.
Right. Have you consulted with Mr. Statmiller regarding the situation you're currently in?
I talked to John about 2 days ago. Yeah. He had called me, and I see that I missed a call, and I called him up, and we chatted, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because about a couple weeks ago when Alex and GCN was in the news, he did offer a spot on the air for you, but it would have been early in the morning. So I just wanted you to be aware of that.
Oh, well, he didn't tell me that. But let me say this. I have a home right now at GCN. I have a home. And I really appreciate John Statmiller's offer. He didn't tell me that, but, and he probably wouldn't, okay? Because he is not, John Statmiller is not in the business of recruiting hosts from a different network. He doesn't do that. Okay. It's kind of something that, if it were corporations in business, it'd be like going to your competitor and trying to entice. Headhunting, corporate rating, there are a lot of terms for it, yes. He wouldn't do that, okay? So that explains why he didn't mention it to me. But I'm not looking for a place to go. I'm not. I'm literally looking for a way of working with solving this problem and staying right where I am. That is what I'm trying to do. It's not that I don't like other networks. I love Republic Broadcasting. I really do.
Sure.
And even though we're not on the Rents Network, I love the Rents Network. I've been on another network called Truth Frequency Radio. I'm not looking for another place to go. I love it here. I love our engineers. I love our faculty. I don't want any changes. I really don't. I'm not looking for changes. I would just like to stay. I'd like it to stay the way it is. That's really what I'm looking for. So, Brandon, please stay with us. We're going through a bottom of the hour break.
All right, sir.
Guineith is with us live in Australia. Brandon, very quickly, is there anything else that you wanted to share with us?
Well, I didn't think of it necessarily as headhunting regarding switching radio broadcast networks. Unfortunately,
right? No, I understand. I understand. John would never do that. John would, if I found myself with a silent microphone, John and I talk. We talk to each other, just check on each other, make sure each other is fine and well, and see if there's anything we can do to help each other, that kind of thing. And he comes to our farmhouse just to spend some time with us, with our family. Right. He's a wonderful man. And so we're close. We're very close. And he says that we are brothers with different mothers. That's the way he describes our relationship. And that's true. Well, I'm sure that he would let me know if there was something available, if the need occurred. But right now it's a wonderful relationship. He runs our broadcast on RBN, and it originates on GCN. And I'm thankful for all of that. But I'm not looking to move, and I know he's not headhunting. So, but so he said this on the air. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. It was the predicament that Alex Jones was in with GCN. He said, GCN went off the air. You'd always have a home, but you'd have to get up really early, which you apparently already do because you're a farmer.
Yeah.
It would be in the 7 o'clock. Now, I emailed you also regarding, we were going to talk about some tree tapping and such. I don't know if you received that at all or not.
Yes. Yes.
But I also wanted to send you some seeds if you had a P.O. box, some tomato seeds and things. But I may just send you a live plant because it's already getting past the point of planting them now. So.
Well, how close are you? Well, you're in Michigan. Don't send a live plant. It probably wouldn't make it. But if you want to send seeds, you can do that. Is that what you want to do?
Sure.
I mean, I don't. Only if you want to.
Oh yeah,
but,
I got plenty of.
What kind of seeds are you talking about?
Tomato seeds, high lycopene. You want the high antioxidant, dark ones.
Yes. Yeah, real purple, right?
These are black.
Black. That's pretty dark.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So if I can get that from you, or if you just show me back, I'd appreciate it.
Just send me another quick email, and I'll send you an address. Okay.
All right, sir. Thanks for your time,
Brandon. Thank you so much. That's what our class and faculty are like. Very kind. Guineith?
Hello there.
Yeah.
I'm just I'm kind of spinning out because of just thinking of all the things that have been happening the last few days of what you've been saying about with this $500 a month fee. That's a lot of money.
Well, and it's a lot of money no matter how you look at it. It's a lot of money to GCN. It's a lot of money to us.
Yeah.
It is, and it keeps going on. And it's see, the satellite company won't. They're looking for money, so they're going to demand it of GCN. So it's got to come from someplace. Okay, it either comes from advertising.
It's like this.
Comes from
It's a pity
someplace.
you're not best friends with Elon Musk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think you would want to be.
No,
I don't think you would want to be.
No, I think he's a terrorist. I really mean that.
Yeah.
Because the things that he wants to do, faster, more, less human control.
Doesn't he have a big shareholding in this whole 5G thing where he wants
he's interested
beam massive amounts of energy between heaven and earth?
He wants to put a lot of satellites in space. Yes, he does. And he wants to fly to Europe in, very short time. Supersonic. And you know what? What's the problem? When my grandparents came over here, it took a month on a ship to get here.
Yep. That's
and
right.
now we are so lazy, so me first, so demanding, so careless with the natural resources that we want to go faster. And it takes way more energy to go faster than it takes to go a slower speed. Just try going down the highway in your truck. I don't do this, but if you were to go 100 miles an hour, you'd use way more fuel than going 55. Okay? But nope, that's what he wants to do. He wants to bore holes in the earth so we can have real fast underground travel. Just faster. By the way, Elon Musk has not, his ideas are not original. Battery-powered cars, there was a battery-powered car in 1906. 1906, not 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Over 100 years ago. I saw it. I touched it. It's real. And it was battery-powered. So his electric car is not.
I bet it used nickel-iron batteries.
How did you know? Yes, it did. It did it used the Edison battery.
Yeah.
The same technology.
I'm a nickel-iron lady.
Yeah. Well, you've got it, and we've got it. And this broadcast, end to end, is via. Well, when we communicate. Nickel-iron batteries, solar power, both of our farms. By the way, Guineith, I wanted to let you know that we got our electric bill, and we haven't installed all of our panels yet. We have bought $8 worth of electricity last month. $8. So we're running our farm on everything but $8. But these electric cooperative parasites, predators, charge $27 for the meter. Now, for me to generate enough electricity to sell back to them to pay for the meter charge would be more electricity than the average customer uses. Think about that. Yeah, because they only pay 2.1 cents to me for electricity we generate and supply to the grid. But they pay 5.1 cents to the power generation corporations.
Well, I'll tell you what. I sent you a video a little while ago. I think I will post it on my Facebook page. I think I've posted it there before or shared it or whatever, about what's happening with the electrical supply in Australia. And the average monthly electrical bill here in Australia, from what I've heard, I mean, I don't know for sure because I haven't been on the grid for like 6 or 7 years or whatever, but apparently it's well over $100 a month, between about $100, $150, $200 a month.
Right.
For people to be hooked up to the grid. And the ones who are really suffering now are the ones who have not got the solar panels because of the huge government subsidies that the government provides for people to put solar panels on their roof. And it's actually getting to the stage where it's destabilizing the electrical grid because you've got, in the middle of the day, so much electricity that it's just about frying up the lines. And then at night, you've got such a deficit that, you know, there's blackouts and brownouts and unstable currents and all the wonderful, horrible things that you get when you don't have enough electricity generation at night. And, you know, you've got these, you know, high-pressure systems that come across Australia, and they are a phenomenon of our continent, and it just, you know, there's no wind on like half of the Australian continent for maybe a week at a time when one of these highs just comes and sits on top of the continent because the middle of our continent is one vast desert, basically. It's not like the United States. We've got population around the edges, and like we are probably pretty close to the edge of the really populated area. And even then it's like, you know, probably 10, 15, 20 people per square mile, which is not much. You know, if you consider how big a square mile is and if you've got 10 people living in that square mile, it's not a very high population density, is it, Vincent?
No, and class, that's kind of like the density of our farm. We have 241 acres, and there are like 4 of us. So it's about the same thing. So 4 people per third of a square mile. A square mile class is 640 acres. 640 acres, 640 is a square mile. Yeah. Well, and I understand.
On 20 acres.
And I saw the video.
There's one of me here now.
Mm-hmm. I saw the video that you sent me. I need to post that on our website, usapreparedness.com. And it's a lady talking about the electrical grid in Australia and how it has been devastated by corporations, by misleading.
They're not even cooperatives.
No, corporations.
Held.
Corporations.
Corporations, not co-ops.
Right. And what they've done is they've misled their customers. They've misled everybody into thinking they need to dismantle the coal-fired power plants and other power plants. And now electricity is going up in cost, and it is becoming more unstable. So, like, what's the worst thing that could happen? What they did. Higher cost, lower quality. Bang. And there's very little that the electric customer can do other than do what you did, Guineith, and what we did, and that is generate your own electricity and become independent. That's the only thing you can do. But it's a huge nut to crack. It's really expensive.
It's expensive.
It's really expensive.
Really expensive.
And it took me probably 2 years of research to get it right without making horrible mistakes. Literally. We'll be right back. Guineith Isaacs is with us live in Australia. Guineith, Wi-Fi. You want to talk about Wi-Fi today?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's just, it's really taking over, and, we do have a Wi-Fi system in this house, but, what I wanted to say was, the way that it is being installed in the classrooms is just absolutely amazing. I'd like to focus on that specifically today. There's research that has recently been released. I don't know if I sent a link to you of it to you or not. But if I haven't,
I have it.
Will.
I have it.
Yeah, and I think I probably did. About how it, people have this habit of putting the laptops on their laps, and with a woman, that means that the Wi-Fi signal is at around about the same level as what her ovaries are. And, that's a really huge problem on a number of levels, because Wi-Fi fields have been shown to interfere with follicle egg development in the ovaries of women at every stage of her development. And what that means is that if you are a woman and you are in the habit of putting a Wi-Fi computer on your lap, and I'm trying to get out of this habit myself. I still do it from time to time, and I'll try to catch myself and put it back on the table because it's a habit. It's really hard to change something like that once you're used to doing it, Vincent. Do you know what I mean there?
Well, I know what it is to have a habit and try to break it, but I don't know what it's like to put a notebook or a laptop on my lap because I've never done it. So I don't have to break that habit.
Well, it's
but
good
you're
that
right.
You haven't. And by the way, it's likely to be the same problem for men too.
It is.
But this, yeah. And the thing is that we've got to look after our gonads, men and women both. It's because this is the future of our species. And if we don't take care of our personal parts and the genetics that underlies our gonads, then, we are really, really putting ourselves into a lot of danger. And it's not just that. Like, I'm at a point in my life where I probably will not have any more children. My own sons have more or less grown up. And, I haven't met anyone who would be capable and who I would want to have a relationship and more children with, and then I'm heading for menopause. But even so, if the Wi-Fi field is strong enough where it can interfere with the DNA in your follicles and in your eggs, then it would be certainly possible, just from my medical knowledge. I mean, I'm not a medical doctor in this life, but, I've got quite a good knowledge of biology. It's, and I am a scientist, and, and I've always had an interest in anatomy. It would be possible that Wi-Fi radiation could cause cancer in people's gonads.
It absolutely does cause cancer.
That's just my logical reasoning there.
Well, you're right.
If it can cause DNA changes, it can cause cancer.
Guineith, many years ago, I was a computer consultant. I've mentioned this on the air in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And Wi-Fi, wireless communications to computers was becoming the rage. And I said, I will not be part of it. I will not install or design a system that will trap children and teachers in a room that has steel above them, meaning the roof, and walls that will bounce this radio frequency around the room and be absorbed by the people in the room and will have cancers 15 years later. I will not be part of it. I'll tell you a little bit more about this when we come back. I've done some recent experimentation. You'll be surprised at what you're going to hear. No kidding. Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Hour number 2 of USA Prepares. Guineith Isaacs is with us. And we've been talking about microwave frequencies. We've been talking about, we know that it causes cancer. There are articles all over the internet about this. We were one of the first to ring the alarm many, many, many years ago. And I refused to put it in the school systems as a consultant. I refused to engineer it. Could I do it? Absolutely. It's easy. But I refused to put it in a classroom where, and it's additive class. Let me tell you about how this goes. So you have these computer labs. Students go into these rooms where there's computers in there, and let's say 30 computers and a printer. And you have an access point where all the computers wirelessly communicate with this access point. So each computer has a transmitting and receiving capability. So how much do you have? Well, you have the first one plus the second one plus number 28, 29, 30 plus the access point plus the wireless printer. Now you have 32 devices in the room. Then you have the cell phones, and they're all talking to their access point or their tower. So it's additive. It's not just one. It's all of them. It's the combined electromagnetic radiation of all of these devices. It's so bad that you're being slowly killed if you ride in a bus because of all the cell phones, or a subway, or the train, or an airplane. Think about that. You're in a microwave oven. Microwave oven frequencies are 2,450 megahertz, or 2.45 gigahertz. Cell phones operate in a frequency range of between, 1,900 megahertz and 2,700 megahertz, the same band. So cell phones
here in Australia, it's actually 24.5 gigahertz.
Yes, well, it's the same in the United States.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is a microwave oven. That's right.
Exactly the
microwave ovens and cell phones, same frequency. So here's how you look at it, class. Some microwave ovens have power levels where you can say, well, I want the power level to be 1 or 2 or 3, up to 100. So 100 would be full power, 100% on, or 1% on, or 10% on. Well, when you have a cell phone, you're transmitting at about 1.6 watts. Your microwave oven is, let's say, 1,000 watts or 1,200 watts. So a cell phone is just a low-power microwave oven without the box. That's what it is. It transmits in a 360-degree pattern all around. Well, if it's in your pocket, it's transmitting toward your body. If it's in someone else's pocket and they're standing next to you, it's transmitting to them and to you. You're absorbing those frequencies. You are literally cooking yourself slowly, literally. And if you're in a bus, you're cooking yourself a little faster because the bus is metal on the top, bottom, and sides except for the windows. So it is a microwave oven with all of these cell phones. Now, here's what I wanted to tell you. I tried an experiment. So I took a cell phone. I borrowed a cell phone. Somebody came to the house and had a cell phone. I said, wow, that's really neat. Can we try an experiment? And so I wrapped the cell phone in aluminum foil, a brand new sheet of aluminum foil, tore it off the roll, folded it very carefully, made sure that I was careful to prevent any seams that could leak electromagnetic radiation through the seams of the foil. Completely wrapped the cell phone, put it on the kitchen table, and called that cell phone from a landline. And it rang. It rang.
Oh
That
gosh.
means that it can transmit through aluminum foil. All right.
That's
Then I
gotta
said,
be a pretty strong radiation, huh?
absolutely. Then what I did was I said, all right, let's unwrap it and look where where you touch the screen to answer the phone call. So we figured out where that was, wrapped it back up in aluminum foil, put the cell phone on the kitchen table, which is wooden, called it, and it rang. And then I said, let's answer the phone. So we touched the screen through the aluminum foil. Couldn't see it because it's completely wrapped in aluminum foil. Touched the screen and answered the phone. And that worked. And then I wanted to say, all right, how well does this microphone pick up? Can you actually hear and talk on a cell phone through a complete wrapper of aluminum foil? I'm talking about completely enveloping the cell phone in aluminum foil with carefully folded seams. The answer is yes. You can literally wrap your cell phone, answer your cell phone if you know where to touch the screen through the aluminum foil, and talk on a cell phone, and it's intelligible. Now, what does that mean? That means if you think that you can put a cell phone in aluminum foil and no one's going to be able to turn it on remotely, you're wrong. If you think that no one's going to be able to hear you through aluminum foil and the cell phone inside it, you're wrong. If you think you can be spied on because you've wrapped your cell phone in aluminum foil, if you think you can prevent that, you're wrong. Because you can. So then what I did was I said, all right, let's take the cell phone out of the aluminum foil and let's put it in a microwave oven. Now, of course, the microwave oven is turned off. Now, the microwave oven operates at the same frequency. So you're thinking, we're all led to believe through lies that our door on the microwave oven will protect us from those microwave frequencies getting out. That's a lie. They might reduce it, but they don't prevent the leakage. Microwaves get out the door of your microwave oven. I'm 100% sure. Why? And you can try this yourself, class. Take your cell phone, put it in your microwave oven. Make sure you don't turn your microwave oven on, because if you do, you'll destroy your cell phone. Put your cell phone in the microwave oven and call it. And guess what? It'll ring.
It rings.
What that means, it will ring inside your microwave oven. That means that your microwave oven leaks.
The radiation can get through the door, which means it can get out through the door.
Right. Now, I know people who really like to watch that spinning cup of coffee in the microwave oven. They put their face right up to it, like almost as if their nose has to touch the door when they're looking in the microwave oven to watch that cup of coffee spinning around. Makes no sense to me, but I've seen people do it. Now, that means that that radiation is coming out, and we're not talking about 1.6 watts and their brain and everything else they've got that's, right there. What we're saying is those microwave ovens leak. And here's how much they leak. They leak so much that one of your instructors' class, Bert Bertonis in California, went on top of a mountain in Silicon Valley years and years ago, and he measured microwave radiation. And he found this phenomenon, that microwave radiation in the valley, Silicon Valley, California, would peak around breakfast time, lunchtime, and dinner. And his question was, what's going on? And he realized it's because people are cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner with their microwave ovens. He could measure it on a mountaintop from all the additive effect of all those people hitting go or start on their microwave ovens on top of a mountain looking down on the valley. He could measure it. And it would peak at breakfast, lunch, and dinner time. Then, years later, he did the same experiment. He went up on the mountaintop to see what's different, if anything. And there's no peak. Now, the peak was the floor of the graph, meaning that what used to be the peak is now the minimum. And it's way more electromagnetic.
Stop using their phone to cook their lunch.
Yeah. Or stop using their phone to cook themselves. However, I can tell you for sure that people will not give up their cell phones. They won't do it. It's like white bread. Diabetics and white bread. But I love bread. I know it's not good for me, but I love it. I love bread. So people who are diabetic will eat themselves to death. People, I don't know what it is about these cell phones that make them so addictive. But Gwyneth, people don't want to stop using their cell phones. So what is the answer? I have the answer. Yep. I have the answer.
Airplane mode.
No Wi-Fi. And you can turn it off. You can turn off your Wi-Fi on your computer.
When you're not using the Wi-Fi on your phone, turn it off. When you're not expecting a call, turn off put it into airplane mode, put it into flight mode, unless you're expecting a call or unless you want to make a call. I'm sure that must reduce the radiation level somewhat to turn off the transceivers.
So here's another thing we did. I'm in a studio, and it's kind of like the studio that I'm in is part of our farmhouse. And there are a lot of antiques here. It's very interesting. There's a silver service. Probably came from, I'm thinking, 1890, what they used to call the gay 90s. There's a silver service here that I inherited from my parents. And it probably came from a restaurant or a hotel in a big city, maybe New York City. I don't know. I have to do some research on it. But it's a silver tray, and it's got some silver serving pieces for coffee and tea and cream and sugar. And so here's what we did. We took that cell phone, and we put it inside the coffee service silver piece. And that was the only thing that didn't stop the phone. That's the only thing that stopped the phone from receiving a call. The only thing. Now, this thing has a really tight lid, and it prevented the signal. So I tried an ammo can, and I'll tell you what happened. You won't believe this either. Guineith Isaacs is with us. So many years ago, I realized that I needed to carry some tools with me and some spare parts and linchpins and things like that for when I'm on the farm, rather than going back for them. I'd have these spare parts with me. And so what is a really good toolbox? Well, for $3 back then, I could buy these military surplus ammunition cans, and they were weather tight. I could put quality tools in there, ratchets and sockets and screwdrivers and things like that, and they would not rust because they had these rubber gaskets and heavy metal cans. They were great. So I would fabricate a way of attaching them to our tractors, and I've got these ammo cans. So I bought a bunch of them for the farm. And so I was doing a test one day about with radio frequencies, and I was talking with Joey on the phone, and I got a wireless or cordless telephone, the kind that you can buy anywhere, at Walmart, anywhere. And I said, Joey, hey, I'd like to try an experiment. Let me get the wireless phone, and I want to see if it will communicate inside an ammo can. So I took the ammo can, and I opened the lid, and I put the cordless phone in there. And I said, can you hear me now? And he goes, yeah, I can hear you. I said, well, it's in the bottom of the can on the kitchen table, but I don't have the lid on. Let me close the lid most of the way. Can you hear me? He said, yeah, I can hear you fine. So then I closed the lid and latched it. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I can hear you fine. I'm telling you that what we believed was a Faraday cage, or almost a Faraday cage, a military surplus ammunition can in perfect condition will not stop wireless communications. It won't stop it. No kidding.
It must mean that the signal's pretty strong. This is the DECT phones, right?
That's correct. Yep, I'm talking about one of these AT&T, really handy, easy to carry around, walk about, talk about. Yep, and that's a digital phone that uses microwave frequencies. So I've got this little device that tells me if I've got electromagnetic. Jeez, it's going off like crazy. It says I've got microwaves in my house. There's no microwaves running. There it is. Maximum signal. So it's coming from somewhere. It's coming from somewhere. And I'm trying to locate where it is. But there you have it. It's everywhere. There's a tower a couple miles away. That's the closest one. But it's getting in my house. Guineith, it's deadly. And if you go to the hospital, there's telemetry systems all over. All the nurses, all the doctors, everybody has a cell phone. They've got wireless communications for the equipment. Hospitals are really concentrated in Wi-Fi areas. It's really dangerous to be in a hospital. I mean, I'm not talking about
I'll tell you what else.
The biologicals. I'm just
this article that I sent you. I don't know if you noticed that they had this classroom, and they had about 5 children in a row who died of cancer because their desks were sitting next to the Wi-Fi transmitter. And after about the 5th child who died, this is talking about like 11 and 12-year-old children, after about the 5th child died who had been sitting in that seat, I think that they might have worked it out, and I think the parents got a little bit upset about it after that. But it took them 4 or 5 children dying that were sitting in that seat next to the Wi-Fi transmitter before they worked it out. Now, how dumb is that? Is that the generally dumb public or what?
It is, and when I was a consultant...
Dead.
When I was a consultant in the Commonwealth of Virginia, I fought with one teacher verbally about this, and she was a proponent of the latest technology. She says she's an English teacher, and she wanted her students to have notebook computers so they could do their lessons. Now think about that. So now we're teaching children that, well, heck, you don't need to have penmanship. You don't need to know how to write with a pencil and paper or pen and paper. You can type wirelessly. She was advocating. Guineith's with us live in Australia. Eric in Florida, welcome. You're on with Guineith and me.
Hello, Vincent. Hi, Rich, Doc Ram, Dr. Shealy, and Guineith. Shiver me timbers, it's the life of the sea for me. I think you got pirate blood in you.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that again? You were breaking up.
Oh, I said shiver me timbers, Guineith. It's the life of the sea for me. I think you have pirate blood in you. I lived on a boat for 5 years, and I love Australia. I almost moved there. I did a lot of research on it. That's the reason I'm calling, Vincent, is I just really wanted to thank you for actually changing my life. I lived in Southwest Florida in a city for 25 years, and I went to your expo. You had a great influence on me for getting off the grid. I now border 77,000 acres. I only have 2.5 acres, but I raise chickens. I'm totally on solar. The local power company wanted $6,100 to put in 2 telephone poles, and I said, forget that. So I went solar, and I've lived here 5 years on solar. I haven't had an electric bill. Actually, I have no bills except for my taxes. I had to clear the land. I put in a freshwater pond that is spring-fed for my livestock. I have goats, chickens, dogs. Actually, I drove to Niagara Falls, Canada to get I looked this dog up, Caucasian Shepherd. There's only 300 in the United States. I got the male from Canada, and then I had a female flown in from Romania. I have a couple of their puppies, but the best watchdogs in the world are outdoor dogs, similar to your Thomas Jefferson, I think. But
yes.
Look them up, Caucasian Shepherds, unbelievable dogs. But,
how do you spell that?
Caucasion Shepherd.
Okay.
Mine are all 180 to 200 pounds. And if a squirrel burps, I usually say burps, but if a squirrel burps 100 yards away, I got 4 dogs chasing it out in the corner of I have 2.5 acres out in the corner of the ranch. But unbelievable, loyal dogs. They're, they say a lot of bad things on the internet about these dogs. It's whoever's on the other end of the leash that's training the dog. These dogs are loyal, lovable, and, but, if you're nervous and come onto the property, they're going to sense that. And, you shouldn't be nervous when you come out here. I've had hundreds of people out here, no problems, but I've had a couple people that were nervous for one reason or another, and the dogs don't react well to them. But,
yeah, when people come on our farm and they say things like, does he bite? My response is, he hasn't bitten anyone all day.
That's right. Yep. And you know what? My dogs don't like uniforms. I had, sheriff's department out of one of my
funny that.
For some reason, the dogs don't like uniforms. My alpha male, he's the 200-pounder. He doesn't like uniforms. And that's so funny because we have a very good family friend that his nickname is Bad Doggy. He's an older guy, but he just claims to love dogs. But he comes over to see my dogs, just kind of slaps them. What's his name? What's his name? He's met them 100 times, but he doesn't know their names. But he's not sincere in what he's doing with petting the dogs. And my alpha male, he wants to tear him apart for some reason. So weird. He's like the only one that my dogs really had an issue with. And he's like the dog guy. They call him Bad Doggy. His nickname. License plate says it. But
I'm looking at images
incredible
of,
dogs. They're good for 104 degrees to 30 below zero. I have my spring-fed pond, which I tested. The water in my pond is cleaner than the city water or local well water. There's less parts per million in it for particulate. And it's very clean. It's funny. I went to a Home Depot and they said, do you want your water tested? Or I said, sure. He said, you want well or you want city? I said, well, I'm on pond. He goes, oh, I never heard that before. Sent a couple guys out. They said, oh, you really want us to test this? Yeah. And it turned out being cleaner than the local city and well water. I couldn't believe it. It's like 36 different springs feeding into it. You walk through the water in the summer. I'm in Florida, so it'll be warm in one spot. You walk forward 5 feet and it's cold. Warm, cold, warm, cold, warm, cold, all the way around the pond. And it's so weird how the ponds come to life. I've got, thousands of minnows in there. I just saw a long neck leather turtle yesterday. I got a black snake that swims around in there, but life kind of comes to the pond. It's so interesting. And then,
Eric, I've got a question for you. What is it that we said, or what behavior did we exhibit at the expo that led you to take this pursuit toward the American dream and actually result in the American dream? What was it that we did?
Well, I spent probably 12 years sitting at a desk, worst thing I ever did, working on a computer. I do AutoCAD, so I do engineering drawings. And, all day long, 8 hours a day, listen to radio shows. You being one of them, start out with Alex, went to you, and go to a whole bunch. After 9/11, I started paying attention, building 7, a whole lot of different things. And actually, I was going to write a book. I probably have thousands of videos I have for a book I want to put together. But I just realized the reality of everything, and it's so funny these days. If you listen to Mike Rivero's show last night, he's very depressed. He's been had his radio show for 25 years. And I think we're at a point where there's just so much BS, trans-testicle, so much BS coming out that, people are getting fed up. And I think that people that are going to listen have listened. I've listened, and I've tried to talk to family members and friends. A couple listen. A lot of people just don't want to hear it. They want to think everything is wonderful and fluffy and beautiful, and they just don't want to know the facts. And where I live, it's not, I'm off the grid, so my mom's sister, they live in Cape Coral still, so they might come out and visit. But where I live, it's kind of dirty. It's dusty. It's not real comfortable. But, it's good for me, but it's not for everybody. So what made me move out here is just reality. And then I got tips. I bought, Matt's book. I bought Doc Ram's books. I bought Rich's books. And I just know what reality is between chemtrails and everything else. I buy asparagus at a supermarket, and it'll sit in my fridge for, I forget to eat it, for 5 weeks, and it's still good. I just had a gallon of milk that was in my fridge for over a month.
That's not natural.
I know. I got to get, and it was from Argentina. So they put it on a boat, ship it over here, and it's still good in my fridge for 4 or 5 weeks. And then I just had a gallon of milk that was over a month old. I sniffed it. I said, what? That doesn't smell sour. So I took a sip of it. It was still good. There's nothing wrong with that milk. There's no way milk should last that long. So
you're absolutely right.
I'm happy out here. It's not the most comfortable. Like I said, I'm off the grid on solar, and I love it. I border, like I said, 77,000 acres. Out in my neighborhood, it's just a small little rectangle. It's 3 miles by 1 mile with dirt roads. A lot of agriculture out here. It's all agricultural property. But you can ride your four-wheelers, your tractors, your horses down the road. We can shoot 24/7. And then Cape Coral, was a really nice town 25 years ago. Now there's shootings every night. I'll tell you one thing. Anybody comes out to this neighborhood and plans on robbing anybody or shooting anybody, people are going to shoot back. There's no question about that. But
Eric, let me ask you this. Are you saying, I believe I'm reading between the lines here, kind of tongue-in-cheek with this question, are you saying that you get on the road, the dirt road, with a four-wheeler that's unlicensed? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. This whole little neighborhood. Isn't that dangerous? And we've had,
we love you.
Some butthead flew over this entire neighborhood with a drone, and he took pictures of everybody's shipping containers, and he reported to code enforcement. That guy's got a $5,000 fine because he didn't have the FCC license. But speaking of shipping containers, I'm building kind of a container home out here, and during Hurricane Irma, I had 2 goats, 4 dogs, and chickens in a shipping container with a 65-inch TV, a couch, and a grill with the front doors on the container open. Two trees fell on it. So you know what? I was fine. I'll go into a shipping container for any storm that's out here, and I'm going to be fine. I don't care if a tornado comes by and it rolls around a few times. I'll still be fine. But
Eric, I've got a special favor to ask of you. Would
absolutely.
you please send me an email with your contact information to Vincent at usaprepares.com, please?
Absolutely. And Vincent, every night, I listen to Ron Gibson. Kudos to you, because every night my 4 dogs and goats, the animals like music. So I'll play. I would recommend everybody listen to this. Brit Floyd Dogs. Listen to the words. Good song. But I play that for the dogs, and I listen to your show every night on my porch with the animals. But another thing, Vincent, related.
Yeah.
What's that?
I appreciate what you're saying. You mentioned Mike Rivero. Mike Rivero is a USA Prepares instructor. I really like him. And Ron Gibson, you're talking about Ron Gibson. He is the owner of the Ron Gibson channel on YouTube. So, class, what Ron, and I met Ron Gibson. We went to lunch one day when I was out in the East Coast. Ron Gibson has been for years taking USA Prepares, stripping out the commercials, and posting it on YouTube, all with my permission. And he used to do 3 broadcasts, Alex, Mike Rivero, and us. And Alex has been removed from YouTube, so it's just Mike Rivero and us. And I was looking at some of the comments that we get on the Ron Gibson channel. There are some trolls who just beat us up, and mercilessly and unprovoked. Just awful, awful comments about us. Class, you can go to the Ron Gibson, Gibson channel, and you can see what I'm talking about. They even beat Trevor up. Trevor's a young guy who, a nice young man. I've invited him to be an instructor. He's been on the air with us. And they even beat him up. I mean, the guy's just coming out of the starting gate, and they're trying to take him down. So I was looking at Mike Rivero's comments. Mike Rivero's getting beat up too. And so I placed a phone call to Mike Rivero in Hawaii to call him and to ask him, so what do you think about these trolls? But he wasn't there. So he gets beat up mercilessly too. Guineith does, Rich Scheben does, Rick Miller does, I do, the other instructors do. It's unbelievable how awful and how callous and these bullies are. These are just the most atrocious examples of angry people on the planet. And if you want world-class stupidity class, just go to the Ron Gibson channel and look at some of the comments that these trolls make. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable how miserable their little lives are. They should just get out of the way or try to help other people and be part of society rather than trying to tear down the good people of this world. Eric, your comments when we come back, if you don't mind.
Yes, absolutely. I have a couple more comments. Thank you.
So, class, we have this very young instructor. He's a millennial, and I really like him. I've never met him, but I asked him to be an instructor on the air. I've never done that before. And I just like this young man so much. His name is Trevor. He lives in New York. And so he gets a comment. And here's the comment on the Ron Gibson channel yesterday from a guy or a thing that refers to himself or herself as 408 Magenta. Trevor, most instructors have jobs or are retired. Are you not late for your babysitting assignment? Your mom won't let you out? This Magenta guy is absolutely sick. Eric, any comments?
Absolutely. In reference to the detractors, the potato chip, donut, McDonald's eating people that sit on their chairs all day looking at their computer, giving people crap and not doing anything productive for themselves or for anybody else. Who would have time to do that? And I would challenge any of them, if you live off the grid, you have a ranch, if you're rich, if you're me, to spend a couple hours working out in the property and see what that's like. I would be willing to bet none of those blanks could handle that probably for even an hour. I'm in Florida. It's a hot sun out here. I sweat my butt off working out here, and there's always work to be done, always. And none of those air conditioning, sitting on their fat butt people, I don't think could handle a minute of that. So all they can do is sit at their computer and put good people down. Why would you even do that? That's just a waste of life, and they're just leftist idiots that are looking for attention, I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't waste my time with them.
One of our rejoiners, and a rejoiner is when we come back from a break. It reintroduce us for someone who might
warning.
Be. No. Yeah. That's it.
That's it. I like that one. But you know something? I was watching a YouTube video today because on the Gentleman of Fortune's Weekly News this week, I was watching this video as a part of my research. The history of crime section, we profile a criminal from history, and this week it's Chopper Read, Mark Chopper Read, and he had a philosophy when people would say mean things about him because he was bullied all through his childhood. He was sexually abused when he was 5 years old. And he was put into an orphanage from the age of 0 to the age of 5. He never stayed with his mother until he was 5. But anyway, he had a philosophy. He said when people came to him in H Block, which was the most secure wing of the most secure prison just about in Australia at the time, that's where he lived, and for about 16 years. Why? Because he took a judge hostage, you see. So they put him away for 16 years because he took a judge hostage. But anyway, that's beside the point. When he was in H Block, he was having this war with this other little cartel called the Painters and Dockers Union. And they ended up being really frightened of him. And, this interviewer said it was actually Eric Bana who played Chopper Read in the Chopper Read movie. There's actually a movie out there made about him. It's called Chopper, if you want to go and look it up. It's on YouTube. You can download it. But anyway, Eric Banner was interviewing him, and he recorded the interview, and somebody got a hold of it and uploaded it to YouTube. And he said, well, what do you think, Chopper, when people give you a bad time? You've had so many people give you a bad time. And he said, I love it. I absolutely love it. And I think that is the appropriate philosophy. They said the people opposing me wanted the prison walls to go away. They wanted me to go away. I didn't want me to go away. I was in a position of power, and they were frightened of me, and that's why they were giving me a bad time, because they were trying to pull me down. And I heard that, and I said, that's absolutely golden.
It is.
It really is.
And I really enjoy, reading these. And I enjoy reading the detractors' comments. Eric, thank you so much for being with us today.
Vincent, I did want to say one more thing about gun shows for you.
5 seconds.
Gun shows. Obama increased gun sales 158%.